the weather this time of year in the South? Perfect. Fall football weather. And we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. Straight ahead, it's a matchup of unbeatens between the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage.
Nice little nifty play for him there. That's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backside of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody cut. Oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. So a first and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Well, this defense for the Texans, they were terrific a week ago in that victory over Tampa Bay, Charles.
And what keyed their victory? The pass rush. Got to the quarterback 6 times for sacks, and plenty of other turbulence in the pocket for him as well. Hard to throw the ball downfield when all you're seeing is opposing jerseys come at you.
Ready. 2nd and 2. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball and let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And he'll bring this one inside the 35.
And that's something you have to get ready for defensively, because in today's NFL, teams will use their wide receivers on jet sweeps, end arounds. They'll move it back in the backfield to make them running backs. Partner, this was much more of a tap pass, but effective nonetheless.
And I think both guys love it. If you're a quarterback, it's an easy completion. If you're a wide receiver, you get the easy reception and also a chance to try to make a play with your feet. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Lorenzo Carter has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
And that's a heck of a moment for your first sack of the game, because if this long drive ends without a touchdown because of that sack, we're going to look back and say that might be one of the biggest plays of this contest.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
As a general manager, you're counting on your 1st and 2nd round draft picks to have a big-time impact on your team. But where you make your bones, rounds 3 through 7. If you can find a few diamonds in the rough there, develop them, then you've got something going, and we're seeing one right here.
Yeah, plays like that lead me to believe that they found a diamond in the rough. Rolling to his right. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by A.J. Terrell. And the Falcons are going to to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
A feather in the cap for the defender, picking up one of the league's better quarterbacks so far this season, and add another feather in the cap for the coaches, too. Excellent game plan, and they had their guys aware of his ability to roll out and how to defend against it.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Remember last time out they threw the interception on their first drive. Good news, their defense backed them up, so it's still 0-0 here as they begin their second possession.
Yeah, one great way to judge a defense. How do they handle what we call sudden change? When all of a sudden, it goes against their offense and they have to run out on the field and try to put out the fire. Give this one great kudos for getting out there and not letting that interception lead to points. Excellent job by them defensively.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Opening carry of the game for Cordero Patterson. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. So this game of ours, Charles, the talk of the NFL world all week. 2 unbeaten teams. You rarely see such a matchup this deep into a season.
I would agree with that because normally you might get one team undefeated for a while, but 2 teams like this, and I remember in preseason, you looked at schedules and said, I think these 2 are on a collision course. It'd be interesting to see if they actually get there, and they did. And to me, the winner of this game has to wear the crown of Super Bowl favorite.
And whistle blown, a timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Here we go. Here we go.
They're going to look to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And this Texans defense stands tall. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Looking deep downfield. And this is taken in at the 5. A huge play there for Houston. 51 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Brandon, if I wanted to run the football this close to the goal line, I think I just turn around and hand it to my tailback. Too many things could go wrong in this situation. I think they're fortunate just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. From the 4 now, 3rd and goal. And it looks like he's going to be stopped short of the 1st down by about a yard. No score after 1 on EA Sports. And the first play will be a field goal try. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And it's now 3-0 Texans. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number one. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Let's go.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And you figure this should be a healthy, arrested, a focused unit, and they're working on a good winning streak. They had the week off last week. This is really a team, Charles, that should be in top four.
I would agree absolutely with that. What coaches worry about, what organizations worry about, though, is overconfidence. They've been playing so well, and now they've had that extra time off. And we've seen teams come back off the open week and come out flat. So what a lot of good coaches do is they kind of game plan for that with their teams. On defense, they may blitz more in the beginning to get them going. On offense, they may go more up-tempo. Anything to get them out of that lethargy right at the beginning.
And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Here we go.
Working with 2nd and 5 now.
52.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Ready, ready.
They'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll set up a throw. And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Ready?
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. 3rd down, here's Patterson. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the 1st down. So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And instead of tying it up, they'll remain down by 3.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You've got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And this ball game, clearly the game of the year so far. It's not very often that you find 2 unbeaten teams playing each other this late in the season, but that's what we have here, 2 heavyweights in the NFL.
You're right about that, and you think about recent memories, so let's take a little ginkgo right now and go down memory lane, right? 2007, 7-0 Colts, 8-0 Patriots. The Pats won 24-20. They ended up going 16-0 in the regular season before they lost in the Super Bowl against the Giants. How about 2015? 6-0 Broncos, 6-0 Packers. Denver won 29-10. And in 2020, Steelers and Titans were both 5-0. Pittsburgh won that one.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. Back to throw, Corral. He's going to air one out. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year as his guys are able to extend their lead. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the lead grows to 10-0. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they, as mentioned, unbeaten to this point in the year, but you think this game, their toughest test yet.
I absolutely do because...
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Derek Stingley picks it. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Corral to throw on 1st and 10. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. 38 yards. And the Texans are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes our score 17-0. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Now back to throw. And this one's incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
38.
On 3rd down, they're going to run for it here. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. 63 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. He'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here, because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock, because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Got a man. It's Patterson, complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They'll look to throw again. Eluding the pressure right. Another completion right back to Patterson. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. Back to throw again. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. Ritter on target to Pitts for a Falcon first down. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half.
Ready. Blue striker. Ready.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Koo knocks this one through the post. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. Well, the good news, at least they won't take that goose egg into the locker room. Maybe a little something to build on.
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest of first halves for them, has it? But at least now, as you mentioned, they put some points on the board. And it's been funny in our experience watching games. Sometimes something as little as a field goal can change the fortunes of a team, and they could come out and look real sharp in the second half.
A final shot before the half for Corral. Throw left side complete. That's Connor. And they work this well upfield across the 45. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Corral. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
On 3rd down, here's Corral. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 40. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter,
they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Here's Corral on first down. He's going to look deep down the field. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's not locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Off play action. Here's Corral. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. Running out of the gun with ETN. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
Here we go.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Going deep downfield for Ross. And this one is incomplete.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for him. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And complete to Drake London. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Ritter and London team up there. First down, Atlanta.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's going to be ridden out of bounds down inside the 25. It's a big play there for Atlanta. And even 40 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. This to Pitts, and he's got him. Touchdown, Atlanta. Kyle Pitts, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Falcons get a bit closer. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Fields it right around the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. This now a 10-point game, so things tightening a little bit after that last score. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That sack was by Isaiah Oliver from his quarterback position.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game.
I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for third down.
Gardner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second.
Corral under pressure, and down he goes. Grady Jarrett coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. Here's Cameron Johnston now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. That's taken on the 25. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And it will be Falcon football. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
So 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 42-yard line. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
And they'll keep leaning on the running game back to the ground. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. 87 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out.
White, green back, red, yellow, red.
He'll drop to throw. Dancing to his left. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's going to have a Falcons first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as...
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jalen Petrie picking up the sack on a safety blitz. And that'll be marked down as their first sack of the game.
Well, they had 6 last week. And this offense did its homework, didn't it? Because they saw all that pressure, and they really worked hard to tamp it down and beat it back. And they did a great job in the first half. And now they've gotten their first sack.
Touchdown, Falcons! John Ross, 31 yards. And the Falcons have made it a 1-score game again in the 4th. And oh, he clanks it off the right upright, and it's no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Up to midfield. And he's going to wind up bringing this one inside the 45-yard line.
Now that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. An excellent run of 22 yards on the keeper and also a first down. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got it second and goal now as they look for that final dagger. They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal. Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal. Corral going to sneak it, and he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Defense didn't budge on third down. Now what are we going to see on fourth?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm happy.
Oh, he forces one there. It's a potential dagger as it's intercepted. And the Texans have just about sewn up this football game. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
Got to figure the rush is going to be fierce again as they come up 2nd and 13. And they'll go again with Etienne. And some room to roam now. And they will finally get him down, but not before he takes this to the Falcons' 35-yard line. 47 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Straight ahead, Etienne. Yeah, maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. 10 yards is the pickup there, and that should just about put a bow on this one. Offensive line right now really freeing up the rushing lanes on this drive.
And we have to give them props. They've earned them. But these big runs that we're seeing, they don't result without everyone else being involved as well. Blocking on the perimeter has to take place downfield, too.
9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Well, this ball game was close throughout. Remember, it was neck and neck at intermission, neck and neck at the end, but a great job to come in here in a tough environment, Charles, and get the victory.
Yeah, tough environment indeed. How about all the people we can hear shouting from their seats right below us, partner? They weren't real happy that their team didn't keep the home field. How about how these visitors came in, calm every step of the way, even with all the pressure, and found a way to get out of here with a win.
So for Houston, the train just keeps rolling. 9-0 now to start this campaign. And they'll return home next week to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, the perfect season was apparently not meant to be as they drop to 7-1. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Indianapolis Colts.